What's up everybody, Steven here with Triple B. I swear, every time I do one of these, I become more and more of a lumberjack. I just can't escape it. The Route Recon today is going to be Times Square Circuit. We're going to break it into two sections. One, how things are going to look in the early laps, and two, how we need to shift our tactics for when things really get spicy. Let's jump right in. With each lap of Times Square Circuit being 3.5k and 20 meters of elevation gain, there's just enough play to maintain a risk of being caught out in a split. Here, we are met with a long flat lead-in with an early power-up opportunity upon taking our first left turn. I like to hold these power-ups each lap just in case riders make a gutsy attack, though another solid option is to use the power-up on or just after this primary section of elevation. The red will max out at a mere 4.1%, while the gradient is temporarily reduced and briefly downhill when snaking to the right. Once fully turned, the mellow 3.3% gradients will appear before shifting through a straight section of track that is perfect for drafting and recovering a bit for the second section of 3 yellow bumps in the road that max out at just over 3%. A keen eye will notice that all of these kicks, including the first two we already rode, begin with a slight negative gradient. Seasoned Zwifters know that each one of these little dips helps group momentum, so spin up your flywheels just before the decline and enjoy the marginal gains of a little slingshot each roll. The third and final kick is the longest of the three, so if the pack is going to string out anywhere, it's right here. This is also an important place to stay connected with the pack because there's a flat and downhill road right after. This is that second opportunity to use your power up if you're caught out. The downhill portion of the circuit begins when riding under the building with the flowers. If there are still splits present at this section, they'll be difficult to close because of the group momentum. However, don't give up if you're caught out. This is because an opportunity to catch does appear just as the course winds to the left. There's a false flat of 1% that will slow things down just enough. That is, as long as nobody's hammering away at the front. This slight incline is short-lived as riders move under another building and hit two true -4% recovery zones. There's a flat section between the two, but the descents will be easy to manage. Once the descending is complete, the final straightaway sneaks up on your right, also allowing for a new power-up to be rolled. All of this advice is great, but navigating this circuit on a final lap is a whole different ballgame. First and foremost, always climb while in the bunch. All of these slight kicks are extremely draftable, meaning that splitting the groups on these climbs, especially the first two, is extremely difficult. To put this in perspective, I am currently outputting a good 2 watts per kilogram less than the strongest riders in the bunch, only to be punished by losing a few minor places in the group. Once the 20 meters of elevation is sent, the pace will undoubtedly continue to be rapid in this flat section post kicks. Burning a match here for ideal positioning is not necessary unless you're strong enough to hold off the pack until the finish. If you are strong enough to hold the pack from this far away, this is the perfect spot to make your move because the group's pace will inevitably slow down as sprinters try and recover from the previous effort on the false flat. Case in point, our group is overly confident that momentum will give us an opportunity to easily catch the flyer before the line. Do not fall into this trap because in reality, none of these downhill sections are enough to simply cruise and easily overtake a motivated long-range specialist. Just over a kilometer from a line, expect attacks to begin. Smart riders will safely sit in the bunch as attempted flyers are quickly scooped up in this downhill section. The time for long-range attacks has come and gone. When making the final right-hander, there will be a half a mile to the banner. Many riders will not want to make a move here, but because the group is moving so quickly, it is mandatory to use this opportunity to get into position. Now, I'm not saying go full send from a half a mile out, but if you're in the back of the pack like I am, light a match and move up to the top 15% of riders. This is because the pack speed post-descent right now is 33 miles an hour. Personally, even on my best day of Zwifting, hitting 40 plus miles per hour in a pack is a tall order. Therefore, this minor difference, 33 to 40 plus, means that a strong kick is sullied. So consciously position yourself knowing that power alone isn't enough to bag a podium here. I truly hope that you found this video useful. If there's anything you'd like to see differently in the future, let me know down below in the comments. Thank you for watching, and as always, ride hard, ride smart, and bonk beautifully.